What's up everybody and welcome to the channel. In today's video, we're gonna compare our Audi RS3 to the BMW M3 Competition. Now, in my opinion, I think these are the two absolute best performance sedans on the market. And in my opinion also, I think the RS3 is the baby version of an M3. I know the M340 exists, but if you're looking for excitement only, and basically first and foremost, the RS3 is so much fun to drive. The M3, however, I think is the king. I think this is the top performance sedan out there. Nothing beats this car. Also, when you look at pricing, the RS3 started around $62,000, going closer to $72,000 at the top end. The M3 started around $76,000, going all the way up to around $110,000. As spec, this one's like $108 grand. Our car is $65 grand. And of course, we do have a 2025 facelift coming for the RS3, which is still fundamentally the same car as this one. Moving on to the performance of each of these cars, underneath the hood of the 8Y Audi RS3, you're gonna find the 2.5 liter inline 5-cylinder turbocharged engine. This makes 401 horsepower with 369 pound-feet of torque. Curb weight is around 3,600 pounds. It can do 0 to 60 in around 3.4 seconds. 0 to 100 is about 8.4 seconds. This also has a 7-speed dual clutch transmission with Audi's Quattro all-wheel drive system. Over on the BMW M3 Competition xDrive, this one has a 3-liter inline 6-cylinder twin turbocharged engine with 525 horsepower and 479 pound-feet of torque. Has the ZF 8-speed automatic transmission, xDrive all-wheel drive. 0 to 60 has been tested closer to 2.8 seconds, and then curb weight is around 3,900 pounds. Moving on to styling, which is purely subjective. I think both of these cars are really bold and aggressive. I love the way the Audi RS3 looks with that massive grille. It's grown on me quite a lot. Finished in turbo blue, this thing is a really good looking sporty sedan. You got those wide front fenders, muscular front end, and a really cool look. Now this one, the BMW M3, does have an exclusive paint job as well. And you can see those massive kidney-shaped grills have been met with some controversy. Honestly, I think this is the best looking M3 ever made. It looks so good, super bold and aggressive as you would expect. It is a larger car than the RS3 as you can tell, but at the side profile, you got nice fender trim pieces, aggressive bulges, sharp lines, nice small lip on the rear, and as expected, really aggressive rear end. Just great lines all around. I don't think there's a bad angle on the new M3. This is just such a good looking sedan. RS3, same thing. I think it's just as aggressive. I really don't have complaints with either car. I think they look awesome. You can definitely tell the RS3 is a little bit shorter and stubbier, a little bit more of a compact. Moving on to the interior with the 8Y Audi RS3. My only complaint is the upper dashboard is more of a rubber plastic, same with the upper doors. I think for this price point, we should get nicer materials. You have nice Alcantara on the door panels, ambient lighting, contrast stitching, and then a gorgeous set of Napa leather seating with the honeycomb contrast stitching. So I feel like they could have added one of those nicer materials up on the dash. Aside from that, it's a pretty sweet interior with carbon fiber, only a little bit of piano black again. Wouldn't mind extra carbon fiber down below, but this is a lot cheaper than the BMW. Nice leather wrapped steering wheel, super cool gauge cluster as well. You can adjust all of that, full screen nav, you can get into this as well. So it looks really cool. And then the RS icon, you can have the really nice design there. So you get a lot with this. One touch of a button, you can change your drive mode. So super simple right there. The infotainment screen, what you're used to on all the Audis. So it's pretty easy to use, I would say, very snappy. Physical climate controls, which is a great touch. I love that about this. Drive select down here as well, where you can go into all of the drive modes. Comfort auto dynamic, a couple customization ones, even a rear biased one. So overall, nice interior, good storage space in here as well. View out the back isn't too bad. The rear window is a little on the small side, but nonetheless, good view around this car. It is also going to come standard with somewhat of a panoramic sunroof. So really nice to have that option, just a glass roof up in the front. Of course, all of your controls, garage door buttons as well. And overall, a pretty cool interior. Moving on to the BMW M3 Competition. Keep in mind, this is going to be close to $20,000 to $35,000 more expensive. This one does have the leather material on the whole upper dashboard, as well as the upper doors. The entire door panel as well has the leather, and this one has the $4,000 carbon fiber bucket seats, which personally, these are amazing. I love the seating. You do get the giant screen. I don't actually mind the look. I think it looks good. You have all sorts of different information in here. It's actually really easy to use, so I don't mind this system. Lots of the same information that the Audi is gonna have. My only complaint is for climate control, while you have your temperature, you have to click this every single time to then adjust your fan speed. So BMW in general, that is my one complaint with this. Other than that, you have really nice carbon fiber and all the leather all throughout it. Really cool design throughout this whole interior. This is a very nicely spec'd car. Alcantara steering wheel, which is available on the Audi. More carbon fiber, a little bit larger paddles on the Beamer. However, the Audis are a little bit in easier reach. You also have toggles you can easily adjust going into your different drive modes. You can customize all sorts of different modes. And in the M mode, you can even then adjust what you get on the gauge cluster. So a lot of similarities between the two cars. Good view around too, lots of glass, really can't complain. A little bit larger rear window. Over your left shoulder, same sort of deal. Now, this one has a carbon roof, so you don't have a sunroof. However, that is available in other cars. Garage door buttons as well. Hopping into the backseat with the Audi RS3. This has about a 103-inch wheelbase. The M3 has about 112-inch. So obviously this is a smaller car. So at 5'11", sitting back here with the driver's seat at my height, I do fit. My hair basically just barely touches the ceiling, and my knees, they're not touching. There's a nice little cutout, and there are climate controls, USBs, extra storage. Even in the center, that seat pops down and you have armrests and cup holders. So for being a small car, obviously this isn't the greatest, but I really wouldn't mind sitting back here for even a couple hours. So moving on to the BMW M3 again, a little bit larger car. With these carbon fiber seats, they have even more space than the standard seats available in the M3. You get this gorgeous look behind it with the cutouts, all the gloss carbon. You can even tickle your passenger if you want to be a little weird. But nonetheless, this is a really nice back seat, more comfortable seat. The headrests are good, a little bit more headroom as well. You still get climate control vents, plugs, no extra storage, but you have storage all down here. And the center will also give you the storage and armrest. The Audi RS3 has about 11.3 cubic feet of volume in the trunk. It is on the smaller side, however, still very usable for even Costco trips. The seats will fold down nice and flat, and you'll have even more space, and there's a little bit of hidden storage underneath. Now for the M3, this has about 17 cubic feet of cargo space. So significantly larger. It's a little bit deeper in here, as you can tell. The seats will also fold down nice and flat. You have releases in the trunk for the Beamer, and they are behind the headrests for the Audi. So a little bit different operation. But as you can see, you got a little bit more space in the M3 along with a power operation for the trunk. So setting off now in the Audi RS3, I think for the price point, you know, this car was 65 grand, not crazy expensive for what you get. You get a lot of performance, as you're gonna find out. Normal driving, one thing I like with the adaptive suspension and the steering, this is a really comfortable car. It has the Audi luxury aspect that we love about the brand in a car that also has some serious performance that blows out of the water anything else at this price point. But it's comfortable, the seats are really nice. This is a pleasant car to just drive, even with the upgrades we have on this car. You know, in the comfort mode, suspension is forgiving, the steering is really easy. It's a quiet, nice to drive car. That's something that we love about this thing. One of my favorite things is the fact that touch of a button, you can easily go into any mode you want. Individual mode, you can set up this car exactly how you want, and then you can go right into performance from a touch of a button, and even go right back into comfort, everything so quickly. So that is something that I'm a really big fan of. So we have a dual clutch and a front wheel drive biased all wheel drive system. It's a little bit interesting to get used to. The steering feel isn't as direct as I would like, but this is a powerhouse. And when you get past the little bit odd steering feel, it handles so well. It's a pretty lightweight car for a sedan, and you can rip around turns and it just tackles the road. It stays so planted. It is a very confidence-inspiring car because of that aspect. It just has the stability, and the suspension is at a level to where it's a premium suspension. You're able to go around turns really, really quick, and it stays planted. Gosh, it rockets you from 0 to 60 so quick, quicker than Audi claims, but it is fun to drive. With that, we have massive brakes on them as well, to where you can stop on a dime if needed, and it just adds to the performance factor. This is a very exciting car to drive. Super nimble as people drive in your own lane. Paddles are in a good reach as well. Man, it's fast. It's certainly not crazy fast to where it can kind of get out from under you. So it's a very manageable, very quick car. It is above and beyond most cars at this price point and at this horsepower rating. to where nothing really touches this at $65,000. We've been really happy with it. Not really anything to hate about driving it. It's a fun drive. It's got the performance, it's got the precision, it's got the technology that a lot of people like. It's easy to use with climate controls right here. And at 5'11", you know, I sit pretty comfortable in this front seat. This B-pillar is a little bit too far forward for my personal taste. So I think if you're above 6 feet, this car might be becoming too small for you. So it just depends on that for sure. But if you want precision and fun without spending 6 figures, you get a lot with this car. Snappy changes. Man, you can just rip it around a turn. On to the BMW M3 Competition xDrive. So this car, first off, these seats I love. I just love bucket seats. I fit so perfect in here. They're very stiff. This whole car noticeably is a stiffer chassis than the RS3. So this is definitely a next step up in performance. While these seats are really stiff, I feel like they support me so perfectly to where I could be in here all day, and we've been in this car pretty much all day. So I don't have an issue with these seats. However, you can still tone them down and get very comfortable seats to what the RS3 has to offer. So it's a pretty nice interior to be in, definitely more upscale. I love the materials all across every surface. Literally everything is either leather or carbon in this specific spec, and I think that goes a long way to justify its massive increase in price when you spec it out like this. It's still comfortable and smooth. The 8-speed is nothing out of the ordinary. The engine's quiet and responsive. I mean, you can drive this just like your daily. I wouldn't have a single issue. So I feel like refinement levels, they both feel similar. This does feel a little more harder core. So possibly the seats are the reason why. But I like that a lot in this. It definitely feels like the next step up in performance. One touch of a button, I can press the M2 and we're now in Sport Plus everything and really able to dial in this car. Not as dramatic just because we have some mods on the RS3, which you can get M3 and RS3 mods from our website linked below. We have stuff for these new M cars. So I'm excited. One day I'll probably buy one of these cars. Power. Now this only has about 120 horsepower more. However, we have the xDrive, which is a rear wheel drive biased all drive system. That 100-something horsepower is a big deal. This keeps you on your toes in a new level. The steering is definitely better in this. It is much more direct. This is the steering I wish the Audi had. That is the one driving thing I wish the Audi was more direct. This, I mean, you do anything, the car just goes. Even though this weighs nearly 4,000 pounds, which is crazy for a sedan, you do not notice the weight. This is so well balanced, well powered. The suspension can handle it really nicely. And man, that steering is so good. This is one of the best steering cars, especially when you take into consideration, you can put your kids in the back of this and take them to school. So this is a family sedan, and yet it handles so good. Gosh, I really like being in this car. It is a step up and definitely the next level from the RS3. It has that little extra touch of performance and precision. Man, with the ZF 8-speed in its fastest shift mode, I feel like it does shift a little bit quicker than the dual clutch in the Audi. It's also a little bit more smooth and a bit more refined. So they've been able to take a torque converter automatic and I think outperform most dual clutches. The Audi's is still very precise, but this, every single downshift, upshift, it just lets you do every single thing you want. So this, once again, it's a step up. Man. You have really good traction like in the Audi. Man, everything about it, it's just the next level up. So quick. Man, this rockets to speed so quickly. It reminds me of my old Nissan GTR. Now the RS3 kind of reminds me of the GTR in a lot of ways. This reminds me of that because it is on the same level with the power and just the prestige, the level of car that this thing is. Man, is this fun to drive. Gosh, it's also just even more precise where when you take your foot off the throttle, the car like slows down instantly. So this car, just the next step up in refinement and in precision for performance. And I like how you can still truly relax this car. It'd be interesting with the normal seats if this would be as plush as the Audi. I do feel like the Audi can be definitely more comfortable to drive. It's a little bit more forgiving in the suspension, but man, does this have power and performance like nothing else. The steering is great. Man, this is a whole new level. Very well worth the money, I think. I think either car is so well worth the price point. The RS3, we love what it has to offer, especially for the price. It's not crazy breaking the bank. You gotta spend, I expect one of these around $90,000 to get exactly what I wanted out of it. We have carbon ceramics on here. I don't really need those. Very expensive exclusive paint job. I don't really need that. So obviously this one is on the pricey side, but man, is it a beast of a sedan. So after driving in the RS3 8Y back to back with the M3 Competition xDrive, my conclusion is I really think these are just as good as it gets. I think the M3 Comp especially, that is the king of them all. I don't think anything can touch an M3, especially with the xDrive all-wheel drive. You're gonna get crazy performance, the grip, the power, the traction, to where you're gonna put this power to the ground and pretty much beat anything. We've seen these modified. I mean, you can do exhaust and tune, make 700 to 800 wheel horsepower really easily. RS3 is still a pretty insane powerhouse at a much better price point. You know, you're able to get these around 500 horsepower with tuning. So needless to say, that is plenty quick. Even stock, this thing destroys so many cars at its price point. My favorite things with the M3 are the fact that it is a little bit more grown-up size, to where at my height, I don't even slightly think I'm too large for this car. I am almost too tall for the RS3. So any taller, this might be just cramped for me. But the M3 gives you that proper size. If you have kids and are genuinely gonna put them in the back, you're not gonna have an issue. This is a very good family-focused sedan. And we've said that a lot in our M3 reviews. You know, we like performance cars, we like sports cars. And when that time comes to where you need the back seats and the actual practicality, you don't have to give up the sports car. You can get an M3 and make it happen. For the price, you're getting the refinements. It is a really nice place to be, very nicely equipped. Even if you tone it down a little bit, maybe mid 80s to $90,000, you're still gonna get a gorgeous interior with nice materials. Audi RS3, for the price point, you get the all-wheel drive and performance and the snappy character that other cars don't have at this price point. So for a sedan, I think these are the two best ways to go. This car still gives you some size that you can use it if you're maybe a starting family, throw your friends in the back every now and then. It's a useful sedan with all the performance. So that is about gonna wrap it up. Basically the point of today's video, now that we can drive an M3 like we own it, what a great car. And if you are looking for a performance sedan and you don't want to sacrifice performance to get a practical car, start with the RS3, spec it nicely, and then when you're ready, maybe go into a base model M3 in the 70 grand mark, and then when you're ready to spend a little bit more, go for the big boy, very nicely equipped with the all-wheel drive. But there is the M3 versus RS3, best sedans on the market. Comment below, what do you guys think? Is there anything better at these two price points? I don't think so. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, stay tuned for plenty more content, and I'll see you all in the next video.